So we've gotten a couple of questions about marijuana, and I'm going to start with you, Leader McGarvey, because you, along with two other Democrats, one in the Senate, David Yates, and then Representative Rachel Roberts in the House, you all have bills that would address this, and there's also a bill that's in the House by a Republican, Jason Nemeth. So I want to ask, what does you all's bill do that's different from what is being proposed by Representative Jason Nemeth?
Yeah, look, our bill is for full-on legalization and to go ahead and get the tax benefits from something that is happening within our borders, and we know it right now. Look, we've talked about tax reform as a way of generating revenue for the Commonwealth of Kentucky right now. How about legalizing marijuana, taxing it at 6% the way you tax everything else? You don't tax medicine, so that's not where you get money in medical marijuana. And of course, allowing localities to have a little bit higher taxes. Use those taxes to provide treatment options, but also to come into the general fund to fund a lot of good things. You're looking at potentially a conservative estimate of $100 million in every year revenue, recurring revenue. That's based off what we've seen in Ohio and Michigan, two states close to us that do this. And I think it's a great opportunity for Kentucky. It's a great opportunity to create industry. It's a great opportunity to create jobs, and it's a way to get additional revenue into Kentucky's coffers.
Representative Meade, we know that Representative Nemeth's bill only addresses medicinal marijuana, so this is a grave departure from what he's proposing. What are your thoughts on this? And
the number, the 50 million number per year, also comes from taxing everything, which would include medicinal in order to get that number. It's not going to be nearly that high because, as we've said, we don't tax medicine in our state. As I said before, I'm kind of on the fence on this one. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do at this point. I voted for it a couple years ago. I know that there are good qualities that can come out of this for those who are suffering from certain illnesses. But over the past couple of months, the reason I say that I'm on the fence is I've been working with some of the hemp processors who came to me and said, you know, we can do the exact same thing with hemp that they can do with marijuana in order to get the same results. And I'm not exactly sure of the entire process because I'm not in that field, but their description is that they can take hemp from the field, and through that process of the extraction of the oils, and they create a concentrate. And in that concentrate, the THC levels spike at that point. They then have to dilute it back down to get it back to levels that they can sell that. They say that in that process where that THC spike happens, that they can create the same products with hemp as we can with marijuana. So that's why I'm starting to change my mind, because we would have the regulatory process in place, we'd have farmers in place, we'd have the growers, we'd have the processors, so it would also benefit our farmers in a time that they've suffered a lot of loss.
So Representative Hatton, given what Representative Meade just described and the therapeutics that could come from hemp and the regulatory framework already existing for that, why not go that route?
I haven't heard those statistics or that sort of results of research about doing the exact same thing with hemp. What I have heard is that 90% of Kentuckians are asking for medicinal marijuana. It's over 60% now favor full legalization. And, you know, we're at a point where we are ignoring the needs of our voters. And my personal opinion is that we need medicinal marijuana.
So 60%, is that including both Republicans and Democrats?
Yes, it's a wide demographic. I think it's supported by the Cattlemen's Association, KEA. There's wherever you go on the political spectrum, you're going to find support for it from veterans, from those who suffer from epilepsy, from those who are being prescribed opioids for things that they could be prescribed something that is not addictive, and rather than a gateway drug, it would be an off-ramp for those who are addicted. And, you know, make no mistake, for those of us in Eastern Kentucky who see those black helicopters circling every fall looking for the crop, it is fully in Kentucky. And, you know, in 5,000 years, I don't know of a single direct case of anyone dying from you know, ingesting marijuana. 37 states have now legalized in some form. I think it's 17 medicinal and 20 full-on legalization. It's just time for Kentucky. We can't keep ignoring our voters and what they're asking for.
Leader Thayer, you're not
PTSD.
buying it though, right?
No, I've said it before on the show, so this will not be news. I'm not going to vote for it. I won't stand in its way, and that ought to be the lead here. You know, if there are enough Republicans who want to pass it, I'm not going to stand in the way. I'll just vote no. I think it's a bad idea, I'm definitely unalterably opposed to full-on recreational marijuana. There are a lot of states that have gone to it that wish they didn't. Colorado was one of the first to lead the way, and there are a lot of lawmakers there, including a former governor, who said it was a big mistake. And I know a lot of people in the recovery community who say that a lot of addicts, their gateway drug was marijuana. So maybe nobody ever died from marijuana, although I think that's a pretty broad statement to make. But there are people who used it as a gateway to other more deadly drugs that have created a big problem across this Commonwealth. So
this question from Mason County to follow up on what you just said. Do you believe that House Bill 136, which is Representative Jason Nemes's bill, has the support of the majority in your caucus?
I don't think it does, I'll be honest with you. Right now, I just don't see a lot of energy for it in my caucus. There are a couple of members who are for it. I just don't see a lot of energy for it.
I think Leader McGarvey was trying to get our attention, and it may have been about the marijuana conversation. So just jump in here where you'd like.
No, it was. And I mean, look, and here's an example. Going back to marijuana, what you hear the majority talking about are things we can't do as a state right now. And what we're trying to talk about are things we can do. We used to be able to thank God for Mississippi. Mississippi's passed medical marijuana. If you don't think it would pass the Senate, then it wouldn't pass the Senate. But this is one of those things, bring it for a vote. If it doesn't pass, it doesn't pass off the Senate floor. I don't know why we've gotten into this habit of we only consider bills that will pass off the Senate floor. Let's bring it up for a vote, because people ask us about it all the time. I'd love to be able to say, you know what? The reason we don't have medical marijuana in Kentucky right now is because these 20 senators voted against it, right? I think the people of Kentucky clearly want it. Like Representative Hatton said, 37 states have done this. Let's not make Kentucky last again.